Hello, welcome back to Building the Next Bull. This is a show where I talk to developers who are really innovating and building out use cases in the Web3 space on top of the Alchemy developer platform. So in today's interview or episode, I'm really excited to showcase Dawson Botsford, who is actually used to be a Silicon Valley engineer at companies like Uber, but has since transitioned into full-time Web3 development work and has been working on his own projects that are super amazing. We go through product demos of both of his projects that he's featuring. We talk about Developer Dao. One of his projects can actually even make you some money, some crypto, because it's like an airdrop reminder or finder website. And there's also some developer tooling talk, and we talk about the future of Web3 and also NFTs. Dawson has he bought a Cryptopunk recently, which is also really exciting. So really excited to show this to you. If you haven't checked it out yet already, speaking of developer tooling, go to alchemy.com/SDK. This is something we just launched very recently. I'll drop a link here. Hopefully it shows up or it's in the video description. Definitely go check it out. I won't say too much here, but let's get straight to the interview. Thanks. Awesome. Cool. So I'm here with Dawson. He's been one of my Twitter mutuals for a long time, very involved with Developer Dao, involved with a lot of different projects in the space. Earni.fi has been something that you've been working on for a long time, and we'd love to hear about that soon. Eeth is a package that you've created recently that is kind of an improvement upon Web3.js and ethers.js, so super applicable for Web3 developers. But in today's session, we want to talk about kind of your journey getting into Web3, being involved with the ecosystem, with communities here, and how you've been building tools that you found useful to be building with, and basically just everything. So super excited to have you here, Dawson.
Yeah, I'm stoked to be here, Albert. Thank you for the opportunity. I think it's pretty funny. Before we hit record, we were chatting about this chat is like, killing 5 birds with 1 stone.
Yeah.
There's a lot of area we want to cover, so feel free to let's jump on into it.
Definitely. Yeah, I know we've been wanting to connect for a while, so would love to just start with kind of what your background is, because I've we haven't met before this call, but would love to learn about your professional background and then how you kind of started going into the blockchain world.
Yeah, my professional background starts probably pretty different than a lot of folks in Web3, which is that I went to college for computer science, did the Web2 thing before this. So when I graduated college, I went straight to Uber. I was an engineer there, and really thought that like Web2 companies like Uber, Airbnb were the mecca. That was the dream. When I got internal, solve all my issues, and that was going to be the place I wanted to spend forever. But getting to that at the age of 23 already was like, okay, now what's next?
I could relate to that.
And then I just had this kind of entrepreneurial drive, and that led to the Earnifi story eventually. But it really did take me some years of trying out different companies. I was the guy who left the company every 9 months, every 12 months, something else. It was a symptom that the Web2 technologies and those companies, being an engineer, just alone, just an engineer, was not going to fulfill me.
That's actually something I can relate to a lot. I'm curious, can you tell us about some of the specific highlights of that part of your career journey? Maybe certain projects that you worked on that were really interesting, or the experiences that you'd want to call out.
Yeah, the defining factors that really shaped the rest of my career while I was in Silicon Valley was while I was at Uber, the team next to me, like the guys I was kind of able to like look over and see what they were coding and working on, they were building the Uber Lite web app. So this was a way to call Uber from your web browser. And this was in emerging markets. They made the entire Uber experience within 50 kilobytes, which, for those of you who are familiar with this, that's smaller than the size of React itself.
Wow.
So the entire experience, which had React, it had a reactive front-end library in it. The entire experience came in much faster and just quicker to use for folks in emerging markets. And that was the first kind of taste of where I realized there's different ways to be a developer. There's different things you can have passions about. And that was when the passion of emerging markets and making sure that the things we build are usable by everybody.
Yeah.
That was when that really started. Shortly after that, though, I really had an experience where I was seeing myself as someone I didn't like, as far as being a white cisgendered male in Silicon Valley. I was at Uber during the Susan Fowler sexual harassment trials. I was there during the eviction, the ousting of the CEO. and just really started to be confused about my identity, being confused about what I was doing, what company I was at, and why. And when I questioned why I was there, I didn't come up with very good answers. And so I started to follow this methodology called effective altruism, which is, it may be something you know of, which is also...
Yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah, tell us about it.
Yeah, it's this incredible movement that's also described in this website, 80,000 hours, which is the amount of hours you have in your entire career. And the idea is if you're going to spend 80,000 hours doing something, that something should be the most impactful it can be for the whole world. Impactful, like statistically, what is the most impactful way to do that? And that quickly led me to leave Web 2 in the traditional ways. And I joined technically it's still Web 2, but a healthcare startup that was helping folks with advanced stage cancer, find treatment, and just like totally changed why I was coding. And that added so much drive and passion for me day to day.
That's awesome. What would you say was the primary motivation when you were getting into like Uber for the first time? And then compare that, what was the difference, I guess, going to this healthcare company?
Yeah, they couldn't be further apart. The motivation I had to go to Uber was, I want to be that guy who went to Uber out of college.
Yeah.
So I went to the University of Colorado, which not that many folks moved to Silicon Valley afterwards. That's something more common if you went to Berkeley or Stanford, somewhere where you're plugged in and more geographical to Silicon Valley and to San Francisco. So the drive was like, I want to be the guy. And then...
Yeah, sorry. I was just going to say, like, it's interesting to hear someone else talk about this, because it almost, to me at this point, it feels like there's this like hierarchy of needs almost as a software engineer, where it's like especially if you go through a college program, you graduate and you're like, oh man, I really want to, have that status or get that like salary or something like that, be in like the heart of Silicon Valley kind of a profile. And then after you do that for a while, you're like, okay, there's gotta be more than this.
Oh, it gets old so quick when you're living in a house with 5 other developers and you each have sharing the kitchen for 15 minutes a night to be able to cook your dinner. And yet you're all paying $2,000 a month as well.
Yeah. That
gets old fast.
It does. Awesome. Wait, so tell me more about, as you get into this healthcare company and working there, how do you start dipping your toes into Web3 and blockchain as well? And like, why does that become attractive?
Yeah, so Web3 and blockchain actually was in the background this whole time. I first learned about Bitcoin in 2014, which the story we've been telling so far, Uber and all of that, was 2016 onward. And so I actually did have crypto in the back of my mind this whole time. Mostly regrets on selling early. But, that's a part of most of our story if we've been here a long time.
Yeah.
We were either hacked, we sold too early, or you maybe are the one that's a billionaire. But I was the one that sold too early. And so during the 2017 boom, I was at the healthcare company and just watched the crypto prices boom and was actually so jaded. I was so against crypto and Web3, which is so ironic. If you actually go back, I contributed to the ethereum.org website day one in 2015.
Wow.
Yeah, so I watched the crowd sale happen. I was afraid to send over Bitcoin for the crowd sale for Ether because I didn't know password security. So I was definitely there in the beginning, but I was not prepared, and I wasn't risk tolerant enough. So I kind of watched these things pass by, and I watched it pass by again in 2017. But as I started to see the bear market in 2018 and 19 is when I really realized this stuff's actually not dying. It's not dead. And I remember telling a friend in 2019, I was like, hey, I'm going all in on Eeth. I'm really interested in the engineering side of this.
Yeah. Wait, was 2019 DeFi summer or was that 2020?
DeFi summer was March 2020 onward.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Right when COVID hit.
Yeah.
So this is 1 year before COVID.
Right.
His response to me when I was like, dude, Ethereum is fun. And then he was like, are you sure you want to do that? You're throwing away a lot. And I'm really glad I put that advice to the side.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Dang. So yeah, you're definitely one of the OGs, working on the Ethereum website and everything too.
Yeah, it was a quick spelling fix. So I'm not going to flex that I was writing the Solidity compiler or anything.
Well, I mean, to have the attention, to be spending the attention on the site, that's something to be proud of.
Yeah,
too.
I mean, I was early then, but you and I are early now. We're going to be the early ones to the next people in 5 years.
Yeah, definitely. And like with the theme of this, I guess this interview series is building the next bull, and I think that's something that I want to like kind of get the message across, where it's not really about the financial aspect per se, but it's really like highlighting these stories where we're actually innovating and creating new technology that can kind of amplify real world value. Going back to the effective altruism topic as well. So yeah, tell us about how you would then transition into Earni.fi, or where does that fall into the timeline of your story?
Yeah, Earni.fi took part in my second Eeth Global hackathon. So Eeth Global is like a really cool nonprofit organization that does these regular hackathons.
Oh, nice.
The demos are actually finishing right now for HackFS, which is the Filecoin one that it was a month long. And most of these are a month long and fully remote. So any developers out there can take part. And so in February 2021, if you picture this, the Super Bowl is happening, like it's on TV. It's a Sunday night. I'm putting together the finishing touches on this thing I called Claimable, which is now Earnifi. I've made like some confetti on the screen. I've like checked a couple people. They have the Uniswap airdrop and they have the 1-inch airdrop, and there's just this black and white page, really simple. And I posted a really sizzly kind of GIF, like a short video of this working. And I'm just some guy with 200 followers on Twitter, and it went bananas. It had 800 likes within 24 hours, and it was before I even got to the judging portion of the hackathon. Already knew about it.
Oh my gosh, it could not have gone any better.
Could not have gotten better. One judge knew about it, and then one judge learned about it then, and as they were watching me pitch it, they found $5,000 for themselves. And so, like, that was just the craziest takeoff story, to be able to help folks find airdrops like that live. And that was like the amazing customer feedback I needed to just go all in. I went full time on it right away.
That's so cool. So actually, I was wondering, maybe this is a good time to segue into potentially a product demo for Earni.fi. Is that something you're comfortable with doing? Just so people who haven't seen it before can kind of experience firsthand what the user interface is like.
Absolutely. Yeah. So are you interested in a screen share?
Yeah, that'd be great. And apologies to everyone listening on audio only, but we'll talk through it.
Yeah, let's do that.
Awesome. That's so cool. That's like the best possible hackathon demo story ever. Awesome. So yeah, Dawson is loading up an incognito window right now. Create like I guess a new account ish, or so that you're seeing it from like a guest user.
So it's Earni.fi, Earni.fi. So check you for all your airdrops. Yeah, so you land on the page here, super straightforward, quick in your face. This is the text box you need. You go into here and put in your ENS or your 0x address, and it's going to check you for airdrops right now live and tell you what you have unclaimed. So let's pick Vitalik. So we've got Vitalik.eth, and already within 3 seconds, we see that he has over $1,000 right now, right this moment, that he has not yet claimed.
Wow.
And so these are airdrops, and up here are airdrops. Then we've got a Pope token, it's a free NFT. It's not Pope, but we've got that, and then a bunch of POP raffles.
Interesting. Wait, try me real quick, dude. That guy in tech.eth.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I love how simple this interface is, and it's so intuitive too. There's like one text box, only one action to do.
There you go, $500.
Holy, all right.
And you've got some really cool POP tokens that are unclaimed.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Let's check this one out.
Okay.
ZF
Moon Festival. Oh, I did buy this NFT collection.
There you go. They gave you an extra POP token on top of it too.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So
wow, this is awesome.
And these are unclaimed POP tokens for you, which means if someone were to do an airdrop based upon your POP tokens, or let's say just now I actually applied to Bogota, Colombia for the hackathon and for the conference down there.
Oh yeah.
And it was a POP based application for the builder.
Right, I remember seeing that. Yeah,
so it was like you can auth and with your wallet show people which POP tokens you have. And so these ones would not show in your application because you haven't yet claimed them. So you should definitely go in and claim them. They're completely for free. There's not even a transaction fee.
Yeah, I love that. Wow. And so I see some other tabs here. We have Learn, About, and Pricing. Can you tell us more about, I guess, what the rest of this platform is about?
Yeah, I'd love to. So the Learn page is super critical for anyone who wants to get more airdrops or even understand what we're doing here, what the whole purpose of this website is. It's to be able to help you find airdrops and to teach you how to get deeper into DeFi. And so a lot of this is based upon the Ethereum ecosystem because that's where high-value airdrops exist. And it's a lion's share of the market. It's more than 95% of valuable airdrops are on Ethereum. And so right here, you can go through, first off, this is a list of past airdrops. So a lot of us remember ENS. This happened at Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was huge.
Today's worth, which, during the bull market, this was like 2-3 billion, I think.
Yeah.
And then you can just read some data about it, which the data here is actually very critical if you're looking to get more airdrops because you can read who was eligible. And if you go strictly on the who was eligible for each of these airdrops, you're already going to get a really good idea about what kinds of things in DeFi you should do.
Right. What kinds of activities these protocols and projects were incentivizing?
Exactly. So we've got that. And then even down here, now this is the speculative portion, which is there's no guarantee, but these are some very likely future places you could get an airdrop from. And so there's one for free. There's two if you just log in with a free account. And then the rest of these are premium. So I can mention now the premium pricing of Earni.fi, which is that, as we saw on the homepage as well with your address, certain airdrops are hidden behind this question mark, unless you're a premium customer. And with that pricing model, it's the very Web 2.5 style with this, which is you get email notifications for future airdrops. And that is critical. There's airdrops that expire in 3 days. There's airdrops that expire in 7.
Yeah.
Velodrome did one the day after Optimism. I saw
tweets about that.
Excellent. See, you're so plugged in that you saw it. And that's the hard thing for a lot of people is to be that plugged in.
Right.
People like you and me are able to see these because we're hawks on Twitter and Discord all day.
It's a problem.
Yeah, it's a problem, but it's also, we love it, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to miss things. Yeah, Earnifi will notify you of those. So,
Awesome.
So that's the overview of the rest of the website.
That's really cool. Do you have stats on like how many people have used the product, or like what's the total number of airdrops that were claimed because with the help of Earnifi?
Yeah, so directly email notifications.
Ooh, wow.
There's been $140 million. Now, this does not include folks that visit the website and claim directly, like we showed these question marks.
Yep. And
so I estimate this number $1 billion USD found through Earnifi.
Wow. Talk about effective altruism.
Exactly. It's like it's giving to help you.
Right. Yeah. That's amazing. And I guess like quick, like maybe peeling the onion one layer back, what was one of the most challenging technical aspects of building this? Yeah,
this is a pretty funny coincidence because the technical solution I'm about to mention is Alchemy.
Oh, nice. Perfect. Yeah. Not a big
that was not paid, not prepared either. You didn't know that was coming, but it's the truth of what's this it's the truth of what Earnifi needs, which is there's a lot of on-chain queries in order to determine if you've claimed things already.
Yeah.
And when you may have claimed them. And so when you're typing in something here, like let's do another one. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. Within 3 seconds, we just searched validator.eth for 1,686 different assets.
Yeah.
And that speed requires a really performant RPC node. So you really have to be able to connect to the Ethereum network and interact quickly. And I was finding that I was hitting all kinds of parallel limits, speed, like API quantity, like request limits with any other provider.
Interesting.
With all other providers before Alchemy.
Wow.
And with Alchemy, it can just handle whatever I throw at it. So when I plugged up Alchemy, I was super excited to partner with y'all and also include the certified infrastructure.
Oh, nice. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, I'm fully on board with Alchemy. It's the solution here.
That's sweet. Yeah, a lot of projects have found that having that label helps too, because it signals like you're going to be you're going to create like a reliable product, a reliable experience for users. So nice.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
In the airdrop space, it is so critical as well to be reliable and honest and not be scammy. Airdrops, they have a bad rap, and part of Earnifi's goal is to show you that not only is this this can be an honest and profitable thing for you.
Yeah.
But with thanks to Alchemy, it can be high quality as well.
Totally. That makes a lot of sense. And so all of those, as you're querying the blockchain for those 1,800 assets, that's like a live call every single time. You don't do any like caching on your end, because you do have to have like the up-to-date information, right? Block by block.
Yeah, well, there's a pretty big complexity of caching within the system.
Mm-hmm.
And so the goal is, of course, to give folks the fastest result, which definitely has caching.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, the direct source data originally, the first time it happened was Alchemy.
Totally. Makes sense.
Yeah, so it's like certain things, like if you've claimed the Uniswap airdrop and you claimed it like 1 year ago, I don't have to keep checking Alchemy for that.
Right. Because once it's claimed, it's not going to be unclaimed.
Exactly. It's irreversible once that's done.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, thanks so much for showing us that. That's definitely, everybody go check this out. You might have a lot of money waiting for you. Cool. I would also love to know, I guess this is your like first big splash as a developer into the ecosystem, and a huge success too, it looks like so far. How do you start getting like connected to other people, scaling this from the original hackathon scope and actually creating this like fully fledged product? And then maybe a little bit of how that maybe has led you to Developer Dao in the recent months.
Yeah, definitely. So Developer Dao came in later. I was a part of the genesis, but I can rewind even further, which is like post hackathon, what happened. So what happened after hackathon was just airdrop after airdrop. There were so many, and it was really hard to keep up. But like our goal as developers is usually, it's not to work 2 hours a day. It's to have extremely fulfilling work that encompasses your entire brain, and you can't stop thinking about it because you love it so much. And that's what I experienced. I experienced that for more than a year straight.
That's
with
awesome.
No burnout and just able to work close to nonstop.
Wow.
So I really poured myself into it. I believe, and still believe, that a notification tool like this is critical for myself.
Yeah. Oh, so for new airdrops, do people like contact you, or are you constantly on the lookout? And like how does that process work for like including new airdrops to watch out for?
Yeah, adding new airdrops is again, just like the caching system I mentioned, it's a pretty complex mix. And so I also have a lot of personal relationships within the ecosystem now. And so I sometimes know about things before everyone else as well. Things, that's got to happen in order to ship a quality product. And so folks are happy to partner with Earni.fi. I grow your community for free. I email folks on your behalf, which is not something you can even do in crypto. There's no way
that's really hard with all the Anon accounts.
Exactly. I have 17 addresses, and only one of them. So with Earnifi, you can push these email notifications straight through, and I think protocols realize this, that if they want to grow their product, they can communicate with me. I'm open, available, and I have time to chat. This is what I eat, sleep, and breathe.
That's amazing. Have you raised funding for this project?
The project is fully bootstrapped.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. So
is it just you, or do you have like a team working with you?
It's also just me.
Wow. Okay. Nice. Cool. And then so I guess like that was you said that was 2019, right? Is when the hackathon happened.
18 months in right now.
Oh, 2021.
A year and a half in right now.
That's awesome. And then how'd you discover Developer Dao?
I think Twitter for me almost right away. I had watched Loot, the project launch, and I kicked myself for missing that.
Same.
I think most people did because of how quickly the price exploded on the Loot NFT project.
Yeah.
But when I saw DevDAO come out, I was like, oh, this is just another opportunity now.
Right. Because it's a similar structure with like the, you can make what you want out of it because it's a list of words and it describes you and all this stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like I love the idea that I could pick stuff that was actually way more relevant than Loot as well. Dragon skin of Gauntlet, whatever, like with Loot versus like VS Code or Vim or like hacker with a hoodie from Barcelona. Things like that was just so cool about Developer Dao.
Yeah.
But also the community is why I did it. Like plugging into community and being social within the space that's why we're all here. We're here for that, and like just sharing technical interests with one another, and all of us, succeeding at making crypto and Web3 like the financial infrastructure of the world.
Totally.
And so when I saw Dev3 come through, I was like, this is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Like, I always want to have more developer friends. It can be difficult sometimes remote. And yeah, plugging into that was straightforward.
That makes sense.
I was like, I minted 2 at Genesis because I was like, well, I might as well have an extra as well.
Yeah, yep. That's the true degen way. But yeah, I remember seeing Natter talk about it on his YouTube video. He was talking about how to make a loot-like NFT project, and then he was like showcasing the code and everything. And one of the qualities I had searched for when I finally decided to join was pink hoodie. It's just like a thing.
Oh
that I
yeah,
have
did you
in
get
my
that?
wardrobe. Yeah, I ended up getting pink hoodie.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
And do you find that across multiple NFT projects? Is that your thing, like your attribute you try to get?
Kind of, yeah. It's like not a common thing, but if there is, I definitely go out of my way to try and get it. Yeah, there's like in my Twitter profile picture, when I was going full NFT, I had an NFT project that I worked on with some other friends, and like the NFT that I created for myself was this like little pink ninja character with a pink hoodie. And after I decided like, okay, I think I want to treat Twitter growth a little bit more seriously, decided to add my human face in it, but I still keep the character on my shoulder. So maybe most people don't notice it, but if you click into it, it actually shows that guy. So yeah, it's always been kind of like a running joke.
I think that's a really interesting question though to ask real quick. What do you think about PFPs versus your face when it comes to if you're doxxed already?
Yeah.
You know, you and me both, we have our names on Twitter. We've had our faces. We're not anonymous in the slightest.
Right.
I have a PFP. I have a punk as my profile. You had a PFP as yours, but you decided not to. What do you think about that anonymity? Or like people won't recognize my face as much because you don't know what my face looks like from my PFP.
Totally. I think we're still inherently like we react more to human beings because, you know, that's who we are, I guess. And I think that really applies on social media, where if I see a real human face, I'm probably going to have a closer connection faster. And I think after I had switched to a human face, I just like grew a lot faster on Twitter. And I think there are cases where people who are fully anon, it totally makes sense to have, you know, like a profile picture that's not, you know, some human face. I think the key though is like keeping it consistent. A lot of people I've seen will switch their profile picture over time, and whether it's a human face or you know, a cartoon picture, the switching like really confuses a lot of people, because that's how people like see your profile. Whenever you comment, the first thing I see is the picture, then I might see the name, but really I like viscerally associate, you know, your existence with that picture. So just keeping the same picture consistently, I think, is like the most important thing. And with regards to the human versus profile picture, where it really actually becomes a problem is like at conferences. I've been to a couple of conferences this year, and whenever it's like, oh, hey, let's meet for the first time at this event, and it's like, oh yeah, sounds good, you know, we're in the DMs, but it's also like, I don't know what you look like, so you're gonna have to find me. That's probably been the biggest challenge, you know. And then also over time associating this profile picture and username with this human being, it makes it a little bit easier if you have that human face to begin with. So
that's so interesting. If someone were to do a stats, like a real statistical analysis of this, I would help fund that research because it's so relevant to all of us.
Right.
I want to know, like, am I killing the opportunity of connecting with more people because of this? I don't know.
Yeah. That's a great question. Would you consider having like I know some people have started following this trend of like having the human profile, but then including the NFT somewhere in the picture, but not as the focal point. Would you consider doing something like that?
I would consider it. Maybe I need to get your tips because you did it so well. Like I see both in your profile, and I actually saw the transition that you did of when you used to be full
right.
PFP.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I don't know how I could intermingle mine, but I would love to learn. I mean, is it going to be a two-headed guy? I don't know.
That's true. Yeah.
Because punk is also just the face.
I think you should probably keep the punk. The punk is like iconic enough where it's like, it's special.
Yeah. I've grown my physical features to look more like my punk since buying a punk.
Really? Okay. Well,
Yeah,
I actually don't know what you looked like before today. So
I grew it like my handlebar mustache further down because I got a handlebar punk.
That's so funny. I love that. This is another kind of case study in itself. It's like, you know, merging your human presence to be more like the profile picture.
Yeah, like you could do another study on this. Like this one would be a psychology of, do we purchase a punk that looks like us? Do we purchase a PFP that looks like us? or do we become more like our PFP?
Right, exactly. Wow, I love that. I guess a quick segue then, like, what's your take on the current NFT scene? I think it was actually, now that we're talking about your punk, I remember seeing a tweet somewhat recently, right, where you actually decided to make the purchase. Can you talk us through that rationale and also what you're seeing in the space right now?
Absolutely. So I'm pulling up that tweet just to read it word for word, because this is something that I spent some time and I really believe in strongly, which is here it goes from the beginning. So
wait, screen share. Do a screen share and like show your profile too. That way people can follow you.
Okay, yeah. So I'm Dawson.Eth on Twitter.
Yeah.
And then let me share this up. Okay.
Nice.
3 years ago, I joined the Ethereum community. I did not know it then, but the people here are changing the world. We believe in upgrading the world's financial system, and CryptoPunks are a symbol of this. I'm now in the fam with Punk 5305.
Nice.
And there's a side-by-side.
Do you have glasses
me
that
facing
are
the
orange like that?
I don't, but I literally shopped for them already. I'm looking for some. I'm already getting kitted up and like getting my swag ready for the next conference.
That's epic. You'll be so easy to recognize. Nice. That's awesome. Cool. Yeah. So I guess the other question was, like, what are you seeing in the NFT market right now, but also more broadly, I guess this may be kind of a leading question too, but I've personally seen a lot of developer activity as the financial markets have, quieted down. It's cool that there's still a lot of like builders who are like, hey, we're preparing for the next thing, or we think there are a lot of ideas that haven't been explored yet. And now that it's less noisy, we have the time and the energy and the calmness to do that. And maybe that could be a segue into what you're working on right now with Eeth.
Yeah, absolutely. In the NFT world, we're seeing a huge flight to safety, a huge sell-off. We're seeing blue chips increase or maintain value. We definitely hit some all-time lows on big blue chips like CryptoPunks. We saw that low, not all-time, of course, because that's, I think, happened 1 to 2 months ago. I bought promptly after that because, I've been watching punks for years and been really interested. It's a symbol, like I said.
Yeah.
And that symbol is something I want to support. I definitely have it as a speculative play as well. But advice I would have for everyone is always don't spend what you can't lose, and is to be in things for the right reasons. So, I didn't buy this as a hopefully get rich faster than everyone else.
Yeah.
It's a symbol of a belief system. It's a symbol of Ethereum for years to come.
Right.
So I would say for everyone is like be principled.
Yeah.
And if you're going to be flipping NFTs, or if you're going to be a holder and be price insensitive, don't check the price every day, because that doesn't matter if you're a long-term holder.
That makes sense. And would you consider Bored Ape Yacht Club blue chip?
I would. Yeah, I'm actually very far from that community as far as I don't know. I don't know if they hit the same bottoms even that CryptoPunks did. But yeah, that's an extremely famous project. And I'd say there's a slightly bigger risk actually that it would crash more, simply because it has non-crypto natives who love them and who are invested in them, like Paris Hilton and folks like that, who may not be here forever.
That's an interesting take, or an interesting way of looking at that. Yeah, and I like this like call out to communities too. I think for people who have been in the NFT space for a while, they probably already know this, but people who are kind of still looking at it from the sidelines, like clearly it was a scam all this time now that the markets are crashing. I think what really like brings together these blue chips and the best NFT projects and keeps them going is the communities. Similar to Developer Dao too. Really, it's like it started as an NFT project, but what the NFT holding the NFT signals is that you're part of this group with similar interests, similar culture, and so I like that symbolism that you have too of getting a punk and supporting like one of the first ever NFT projects. Yeah, so that's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And we had mentioned how this could transition to Essential Eth or Eeth, which is my library.
Yeah.
Just because I did mention that on DevDAO this week, so I'm happy to go into that now if you think that's a good time.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, tell us how where the inspiration for that came from, and yeah, and maybe like a quick demo too would be great to show people what it is.
Absolutely. Yeah, so Essential Eth is my JavaScript package. It's a free public library for anyone to npm install. And this JavaScript package is a replacement for ethers.js and web3.js. It replaces the read-only functionality and utility functions in 20 times less code. And so using this in the right places can speed up your websites, and it can make Web3 more approachable to folks in emerging markets. So now you can see the full story of how this connects back all the way to 10 years ago when I was at Uber.
Yeah.
And how making sure that our websites work for anyone in the world is critical. The total addressable market of Web3 and DeFi is a tiny fraction of what it will be one day. And if you're here right now in July or August of 2022, you already believe that. Either that or you're just starting to, because all the folks that were drifters are already gone. And that's why we build in the bear, is because this is when we get prepped up and ready for the next bull run. So that's what I did with Essential Eth. I started it during the bull, but I've also continued it. This project has been going for 9 months. It's public on GitHub for anyone to see and use. So let me go ahead and pull that up now. And you can ask any follow-up if you'd like while I pull that up.
Cool. Yeah, this is it's so nice to, like, when we find people who are working on infrastructure that makes it easier for other people to build. And this aspect of having like a smaller bundle size, easier to load in emerging markets, or just anyone who has like a slower bandwidth internet, is super crucial for inclusivity. So that's awesome. Do you use this on Earni.fi? Are there pages that use it?
Yes, I do. Yeah, so during the hackathon, so Essential Eth was also a hackathon submission.
Nice. This
happened again in Eth Global. I've used Eth Global as a way to throw stuff at the walls and test over and over.
Yeah, I mean, huge shout out to Eth Global. They run the best hackathons in this space. Super well organized, great sponsors, great presentations. They get the right people to come too with their like staking mechanism. So amazing.
Yeah, exactly. They're legendary. I do want to shill fast. Consider checking out Reflect FM. It's the fastest podcast page in the world.
Wow. And so was this a submission for HackFS?
It was. Yeah, so watch right now, about to click Bankless. Look how fast this is.
Wow.
So that was 1/10 of a second to load the entire podcast page. And it can do that for all of these. There's Dev3. This is my podcast. We've got Syntax, Daily Gwei. All these are just instant. So if anyone...
That's super cool. Okay, if we ever turn this series into a podcast too, I'll definitely head over to Reflect FM.
Yeah, so that's just double shill. But let's go back to Essential Eth, which is...
All right.
Here's like a really clear screenshot of what it does. This is a drop-in replacement for Ethers and Web3. And it has a pretty low barrier to transition over to. You pull in the same functions. A few of them have been renamed for ease of use. For example, Ether to Wei and Wei to Ether is converting these two. Wei is like, but if you're going to convert this over in Web3, I can't even calculate how large that bundle is. In Ethers, it's 16K, and the exact same functionality is 3K in Essential Eth.
That's incredible.
And so that's 5 times less code.
Yeah, I've found a number of times when I've had to like write a script or something, and I'd have to pull in like all of Ethers. So this is definitely something I'm going to be trying.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I'm seeking grant funding, and I'm hiring folks. Also, if you want to do open source contributions, paid and unpaid, this is the place for it. This is a great place to bolster your resume, like your GitHub profile resume. With certain tasks already marked as well as start here. So good first issue, start here. It's all out here on the open and public and free. This is the Web3 world we live in, build in public.
I love it. Yeah, it really takes the open source ethos, and you're building tools for Web3, for crypto and blockchain, and including everybody. That's really cool. We actually are launching, or just launched an Ethers wrapper. So it's actually probably bigger than Ethers, but the purpose of it is to include like NFT API functionality, webhooks, notifications inside the SDK, and that's called Alchemy SDK. So I wonder if there's something we could do here where there's like a smaller version of it for very specific calls.
News for you, which is I have done this already for the NFT API within Earni.fi.
Really?
So I had to build it out myself in order to use Essential Eth, and I just haven't added it to the library yet.
Oh my gosh, that is incredible. Wow.
Yeah, it's already existing in the internal code base of Earni.fi. So yeah, we should continue chatting about this. I can talk with like DevOps or any of your core engineers as well about
Totally.
how we can make your bundle lighter.
Yeah, that's awesome. Brian is one of our engineers who focuses extensively on the SDK, and so he would this would be music to his ears. I'll definitely
Nice.
introduce
Yeah,
you
I'd love to
guys.
chat with him about it.
Yeah.
You know, we've gone into the details here and on DevDAO about it.
Yeah,
And so the information's out there. And again, it's a public project. I'd love to integrate more.
awesome. I love that. Sweet. And then I guess speaking of Alchemy, would love to hear about how Alchemy has been able to help you build with Earn.fi. We mentioned a little bit earlier, but also with Eeth and just in general, like your developer journey.
Yeah, so Alchemy has been really relevant and helpful for both the NFT API and connecting to nodes directly for on-chain data. This is more than just Ethereum mainnet too. So I use Polygon, Optimism, and mainnet.
Nice, multi-chain.
Alchemy nodes. Yeah, I'm like all across the board using most of your products actually for the API side.
That's sweet.
And then, yeah, the NFT API was the core thing that was for ApeCoin.
Oh,
So there's
what was ApeCoin?
So ApeCoin was an airdrop to all Bored Ape holders.
And then, oh, I see. For Earn.fi, when you were trying to verify like who had apes.
Exactly. I checked
Got it.
hundreds of thousands of wallets for that NFT
Yeah.
within 2 hours,
Yeah,
all through the Alchemy NFT API.
that's amazing. That's super cool. Sweet. Well, really glad we could help with your development process.
Yeah, I mean, quick metrics on it. There's 215,000 addresses saved in Earnifi. And when a new airdrop comes out, Alchemy is where those queries go through.
Wow.
And I send out the email notifications. So you all can handle it. You can take the heat. It's
Let's
pretty
go.
impressive.
Let's go. I'll definitely forward this to the NFT API engineering team.
Yeah, it's been awesome to be able to work because also I didn't have that data before I had Alchemy.
Yeah.
It was a cobbled together mess of mainnet transaction queries that would sometimes fail
Yeah.
or would just be so slow because things are not cached properly.
Right. It's really hard because, people might think, oh, well, NFTs, like, oh, clearly, like, I own this NFT, right? Why is it so hard to, like, find out who owns it? Various NFTs. But it turns out you have to actually check every single block for every transfer, every mint, like, when did the NFT project get deployed, all of this stuff. And then you got to, like, aggregate all that data and then calculate, like, what's the current state of the world. Yeah, before I started digging into it, I was like, oh yeah, it shouldn't be that hard, right? But then it became obvious, like, okay. And then there's all these NFTs that don't conform to the metadata standards and all this stuff. It's a nightmare.
Yeah, and you all like smooth over all those differences, so it's been fun to work with.
Awesome.
Hopefully there's more NFT based airdrops coming out so that I can keep testing it.
Yeah. We'll definitely be preparing for, at the very least, for the next bull run. Maybe there's a next NFT bull run as well.
Oh yeah, there's a new bull run of something coming soon.
Nice.
There always is.
Yeah, that's true. Awesome, cool. And I guess just to wrap this up, would love to hear about maybe your overall advice for for developers who are entering the blockchain space, who are kind of like, I want to see what's going on in the blockchain world. I want to start building some stuff. What would you say are the most useful resources or the most, with the theme of effective altruism, the most useful directions to build it?
This is a good question because Web3 and DeFi and crypto can be so scary for folks. I just want to encourage everyone that it was scary for me too. And I'm sure it was scary for you, Albert, when you first get into this. There's so much we don't know.
Yeah. When every transaction is like dollars or multiple.
Exactly. Everything's multiple dollars and even the transaction fee as well if you're on mainnet. And so I just want to encourage folks that that's normal. It is okay to be concerned about doing transactions. It's okay to not understand what's happening. Folks don't always see this, but there's plenty that you and I also don't know about the inner workings of these things. We know one layer of it. If you know anything about NFTs, it's likely you know nothing about core protocol, node syncing, and like low-level memory management for nodes.
There's a lot going on.
Those are overwhelming things I just described. And
Yeah.
that's what I want to show people is like, you're going to hear things you don't know about. And that's totally okay. Just find what you love. Find one part that's interesting in all this. And if you can, have a buddy.
True.
Find a friend, whether they're a mentor style relationship or a peer.
Yep.
Plug into some community, whether it's Developer Dao, Bankless Dao, one of these communities that's really education focused.
Yeah.
And if people are being mean to you, leave that community. I had an experience like that with an NFT project a year ago.
Oh.
And I wish I hadn't stuck around for a week, even though I stuck around for a week. I wish I had stuck around for an hour.
Yeah.
Because there are really nice people in this community. And if you've found the mean ones or the judgmental or rude ones, you've found the wrong section of the community.
Right. Or the over shilly ones that only care about the prices of things.
Yeah. And I would encourage people to look past the prices, just like you said. It's so much more than price. Like, get interested in the engineering. If that's scary, get interested in the economics. If that's scary, get into giving and donations. And there's an entire community around that. If you're interested in giving and donations, go look into quadratic funding. Go look into Gitcoin, GIT coin. There's a lot of crazy cool stuff happening here that has never been done in history to fund things, to provide money for nonprofits. So I'd say just jump on in and have fun and reach out to people. You can reach out to me. You can reach out to Albert. Like, folks like us are here to talk about this and help people understand it.
Love it. Love it. Well, there you have it. Thanks so much. Those were great words of encouragement. Totally agree with all of that. So yeah, if you guys want to stay in touch with Dawson, once again, do you want to share your Twitter, your websites, and anywhere else people can connect?
Absolutely. Yeah, you can find any of the things we just talked about over on Twitter. I'm sure we're going to retweet this when it goes live. Let me show you my Twitter. It is Dawson Botsford. And you can connect to everything through the Twitter. So this is really the start of it, because you can find Earn.fi through here.
Yeah, see all your websites there.
Yeah, earni.fi. But honestly, my Twitter is going to connect you to stuff better than even just visiting the Earnifi website, because through my Twitter, you can find my GitHub and you can find the rest of that. So yeah, plug into me here. Please DM me, message anything, any questions you have. If you've ever, if you're starting and you want to ask, what should you do next? That's what I'm here for.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. We'll see you around.
Thanks, Albert.
Bye. All right. Hope you found that interesting. Please leave a comment down below what you thought about Dawson's mustache growing out to match his Cryptopunk NFT. Other than that, please let me know also who else you would like to see on the show. There are a lot of really amazing, smart, cutting-edge developers building with Alchemy right now. So if you or someone you know is someone you want to see on the show, then please reach out. Other than that, please like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you in future videos. Bye.